Welcome to another battle report, folks. Today we're back in the desert with some more mid-war, and a quick glance, you can probably see that everything has got wheels or tracks. We're just going to have tanks against tanks today. So for the Germans from the Africa Corps book, we're doing a Panzer III company. You would have seen something similar in the last game that I had, and it went very wrong for the Panzer III company then because I forgot about the objectives of the mission. This is a very similar list to that in terms of the units, but instead of there being any long 50s in the Panzer IIIs, they're all short 50s. There's various actual models in here, but we're just calling them all short 50s, including the HQ, and that freed up some points for me to change these guys from short 75s to long 75s. The short 75s are okay for bombardment, but to be honest, they're very, very expensive artillery platoon that could be doing a lot more. So it's a Panzer III company, 2 platoons plus HQ, long barreled F2 Panzer IVs in support, 3 Marders, and then a couple of scout units being the Panzer IIs and the 222s. One of them has got the SPZB, whatever the hell you call it, little anti-tank gun on it, and they'll be up against these newly painted Brits. These are from, excuse me, from Armoured Fist. It's 2 formations here. The German forces 1 formation, the British forces 2. They've got Grant formation, 3 platoons plus 2 in the company HQ, and then they've got this Crusader formation. Now you can see they're painted differently, and that's just to make life easier and also to make them, I think, just a bit more interesting. The green camel are 2-pounders, the brown camel are 6-pounders, and the ones without camel are the 75mm howitzers. So you can see 4 in the company HQ, and then 3 platoons of 3, and then they've got some armour cars. These aren't quite finished yet for painting, but they've got 2 platoons, they've got Humbers and the Demos. So there you go, there's just lots and lots of wheels. I'd imagine there'll be a hell of a lot of smoke markers very, very quickly in this game. So we'll go over in the next stage to the mission itself and deployment. Right guys, the mission we're going to play, we've had a bit of a think about it, is a mission I thought I would never ever play, and that's Annihilation. You know, it just sounds like there's no tactics, no whatever or so on, but to be honest, with what we've got here, I think it's maybe the best option because there's nothing really that's going to be able to sit on our objective. Just be tanks sitting in the open, getting shot off it immediately. So we're going to play Annihilation. Brian won the role to be attacker and chose to attack from this side. So I'm over here. Brian, if you want to just show me where you've stuck your units.
Yeah, so again I've put my 2 sort of smaller units on either side. So I've got the treble 2s on this side, and I've got the Panzer IIs on this side. They're only going to be able to hit things on the side, so if they can, let's do some flanking. In the middle here, or towards the centre here, I've put my Marders hull down on the hill. These are really a shoot and scoot unit. They're going to have to come up, shoot, and then move back again. 32-inch range, so hopefully they can pick things off before your guns come into range. And the Panzer IVs, the big guns, to try and move forward and take that hill and hold that side of the table. The Panzer III units I've stuck 1 into the little village, 1 beside the oasis here, moving up towards the hill if I can, and just keep on my HQ back at the moment just to see what options they're required to take on the battlefield moving forward.
So I've got my Crusader formation over here. Some of them are in this courtyard. They can only exit via the gate, but they do get a bit of cover at the start of the game because they're only front armour 3, you know, so you won't necessarily have to get around the side of them.
Hopefully not.
You know, they can kill them on the front, but they do have some decent anti-tank. You know, they've got 6-pounders, which are quite nasty, and I've got some Humbers out of sight behind there at the moment. My other scout platoons over here. I had them in the middle so that they could split off towards either flank because I didn't know how the deployment was going to go, and being the lighter elements, I think both me and Brian both stuck our armour cars down right at the beginning. And then The Grant formation is over here. Company HQ on the hill. These guys got a bit of cover out of line of sight with that terrain, and they're squaring up to some Panzer II, so we'll have to see who gets first turn. The highest...
So highest roll goes first.
Right, I'll just maybe borrow a dice tonight, Brian, because
I'll
mine's
bring
in the
my
tin.
loaded dice for ones. There we go.
Right, okay, and you never use that. Right, so a 3 and a 5.
Ah, give you the wrong dice.
He gave me the one he gets his 5s on. Right, okay, so I'll get first turn. It's not going to be a huge difference to the Germans because my stuff doesn't have that massive a range, to be honest. So we'll come back after the end of the British turn. So the British turn 1, a bit of manoeuvring, but it's a full-on in-your-face battle, so quite a bit of firing as well. First of all, I've brought the armoured cars around. I want to bring them around this side. The whole formation moved up. These guys, with crazy tactical move, were able to get up on the hill and get line of sight on the gone to ground Marders, and they managed to hit one on a 7, and it was a 6-pounder against front armour 2 at range. It just went straight through. These guys, I've actually forgot to fire them, I'll just do that later. These guys here tried some pot shots on them and missed. They'll be going to ground, so 7s again. But then over here, the poor Panzer IIIs, they were kind of out in the open. They got clobbered. Did loads and loads of hits. Most of the shooting was at short range, and there was a lot of 75 mils hit. So that was it really for the Brits, but they're now in a position for the Germans to give some payback. So we'll just come back and we'll do that bit of shooting and see what happens, but I don't imagine it'll be much, and then we'll go on to the Germans' turn.
Right, so for German turn 1, I just done a couple of bits of movement. The real movement was across on the other side of the table, to be honest with you. I've done a blitz move just to reposition the Panzer IIIs in here, just to try and get some shots into the incoming Grants and the Grants in the middle of the field. And then I did a tactical move in my HQ just to support that unit moving forward. The 3 Panzer IVs, Panzer III stayed still because they had a range in here. The 4th one didn't, so he did a tactical move to take on this unit, and everything else stayed still at the moment. In the shooting, these guys shot but never did anything. They've then done a shoot and scoot back into a bit of cover here. This is the bit that really done a lot of damage. So between my Marders and the Panzer IVs, I've taken out the 3 tanks on the top of the hill, and between the Panzer IIIs that's here, I've taken out 2 of the Crusaders at the bottom there, so 5 dead tanks, and 1 good lucky shot from here to the outstanding Grant. So that's 6 tanks destroyed there from my 3 or my 4, so 1 up in the Germans so far, I think.
So, in this turn, the Crusaders are moving, armour cars are moving, a little bit of movement with the Crusaders, the Grants. So I moved up, just try to get stuck in, getting close, use the speed, everything fired and missed. This passed its last stand, fired and missed. Over here, these blitzed on at the top of the hill to negate the cover for the Panzer IIIs. These guys moved around from the wood. One of these guys moved. Actually, I forgot to fire them, but we'll come back to that. One of these guys moved, so they would have 3 shots, and they stayed still to fire through the gap. Every single shot missed. So I didn't hit a single thing that turn. So it's probably looking very grim, because I think the Crusaders will die next turn, and then the Grants will have to try and do everything, which is probably not going to be enough. Anyway, back for German turn 2.
Right, so in the Germans, I kept these 2 units where they were because they were going to be within short range to start taking on the Crusaders. Because of the forward facing guns here, I had to blitz move these to be able to turn and get shots off. So I successfully passed a blitz move, and I also blitzed my Panzer IIIs here as well, just to try and get some movement up towards a range in on the Grants coming in. This unit stayed within the village, but I did a tactical move on my HQ just to come around and trick some more shots in here. So while we're at the side of the table, so there were shots coming in from the Panther 3s here, the Panther 3s here, and I've killed 1, 2, 3 Grants and bailed one. Oh, so I killed 2, bailed 1 in the middle. Nothing hit across on this side, so the 5 are still safe across there. This side of the table is where all the damage was really done. Between the Panzer 4s and again the Marders, I've taken out most of these Crusaders, and I think there's...
You basically hit nearly every single dice.
7, yeah. So
I mean, for the whole turn.
I've got 1 Crusader left in the middle there, 2. I think. There's 2 left.
There's 2, but they'll be gone next turn.
So yeah, we'll see what see if they stake around or run away.
I don't think it matters. So, British turn 3 is really what's left is over here, and another amazing turn of shooting where I managed to bail a single tank. After it I managed to at least do shooting scoots to pull everybody back out of range. The Amicars have decided they might as well park themselves in here and just to see what happens, and James is just going to have to come and kill me. I could keep charging on, but might as well make it last more than 3 turns, so come and get me, Germans.
German turn 3 I'm now going on the offensive, so I've moved up my scout cars. I've come off of the hill with the Marders, and I've also moved up with the Panzer 4s. Just in case the Hummers do come out of that little village, just keeping my guns pointing that way. But the old decent move was actually moving 3 of the tanks up into the hill. 1 had already stayed there, so that allowed me to take 5 shots at the retreating Grants, and I managed to kill 1 and bail another, so hopefully he doesn't get back in again. And the last piece of movement was just trying to manoeuvre, just on tactical moves, because the blitz move wasn't going to get me into range, just to get all my tanks facing up towards the Grants, retreating in this corner as well. But as you can see, not managed to hit anything here, so the real bit was just taking out the tanks in the middle. So now I'm just going to keep pushing the rest of my tanks up to try and take out
it's just a matter of
the 5 out in the middle.
Roll the dice till all my guys are dead.
Them.
I just want to point out, I forgot to mention that the 2 remaining Crusaders are quite unsurprisingly gone. But there you go, that's the end of
turn 3.
So, British turn 4. I have to say that this game is probably given a really skewed and unrealistic appreciation of the opposing forces here. Fair enough, Crusaders are rubbish, but Grants against anti-tank 8 Panzer 3s should be clobbering them. But I've not been able to make 2 up saves. A 3 up save. Well, I've been rolling 1s or 2s for saves the whole time, and I've not been hitting anything. I've now got up to, I might hit 5 now, 6 off my opponent's tank, 7 of my opponent's tanks during the whole game, you know, which is not very good. So don't think the Grants are rubbish and Panzer 4s, Panzer 3s with anti-tank 8 are brilliant. In a different mission it would probably, and even just different dice rolls, it would turn it a wee bit different.
This was only 2 tanks because you were only able to target 2, and they killed them instantly, so it's showing that the Grant can't take out. Yeah.
The hit stacked on them. But anyway, I killed 2 in shooting, and that was it. So over to the Germans, come and get me.
Okay, so in the German turn 4, it's just a continual movement of all the tanks that are carrying up towards this corner. So I brought the Panther 3s off of the hill to the dash and started moving up behind cover behind the Oasis. I've moved the Marders and the Panzer 4s and managed to squeeze enough manoeuvring in to get some shots off at the Grants. HQ stayed still, and I tactical moved the remaining Panther 3s up as well, just to get as many shots as I can at the Grants. But this turn wasn't as good as shooting, not for compared to the rest of the rules.
You were clobbering them. Absolutely clobbered them at long range on 5s.
1 dead, 1 bailed, so I still try to get rid of this last pesky unit.
Not really, I'm going to roll a dice. I'm going to roll a dice now, because unless he gets a 5, so it's game over.
So he's bailed, so you've got only 1 unit left on the table.
Oh sorry, that was his remount, sorry, talk shite. Alright, so there, he is staying, but he's not in.
So I've still got to kill him.
That means I can get a ton of shooting and maybe kill something. Woohoo, if I can hit it. So British turn 3, these guys have come running out because there's some armour cars to shoot at. Actually there's some Panzer 3s, they managed to hit a Panzer 3 but it saved. And they managed to hit 2 armoured cars with side armour 0, and guess what? They saved. And then over here, I killed a Panzer 3, and Bale 2 in the company HQ, that doesn't matter if they're Bale because the company HQs do not test. So if I'd killed them, it would have broke the Panzer III company, and then it would have been an interesting way into the game. But as it is, he failed a shoot and scoot, so he's just sitting out there. I forgot last turn that he was a company HQ unit. He got back in. He didn't have to make a last stand test because he was a company HQ. So it's over at the Germans for the coup de grace, as they say in France. There you go, folks. It's game over. Brian just shot everything and lined up everything to shoot, having killed it with one shot. And that's kind of the way this whole game has gone. So it's probably, to be honest, it's just been a bit of fun because it's annihilation. It's not like a great tactical test of where you're putting your objectives and deployment and everything. But it was a bit of a farce in as much as I hit almost nothing in, what, 4 or 5 turns?
Yeah, first 4 turns, yeah.
Absolutely almost nothing, apart from the first turn where I killed a couple of lightly armoured things, and then after that I just failed. There were some saves, some things I couldn't save, but just failed saves all over the place from my really well armoured Grants. So it was good just to get some tanks on the table, push them around. Don't necessarily take too much from this, guys. If you think your Panzer IIIs with 50 mils are going to smash Grants left, right and centre, it just takes somebody to take an average roll of dice and they'll smash you back. But I still like the German formation. I would have I thought like the Panzer IIIs were going to get knocked about, do the running around, whilst these guys were doing the killing, and these guys did the killing, but so did the Panzer IIIs.
Yeah.
So it's still quite a nice tank formation, I think. And as far as the British goes, I would never ever play this formation for the Brits. It's just all I've got. The Crusaders is a definite. I'll be using that again in future. I think in proper missions where you can time where you're using them and you don't necessarily have to charge the enemy at his strongest, I think with that tactical move of 14. And decent anti-tank. These guys here are anti-tank 9, so I mean they can hurt the opponent.
And what we didn't really use in this game is their ability to fire smoke.
Well, that's because they died.
Yeah, but because but it didn't show the advantage of smoke in this game.
They could possibly have put down one smoke bombardment, but I don't. It would only have been 4 markers. It's potential for them. It's just it's that hard to spend points on Crusaders, and you have to get something. You have to use them in the HQ anyway, I think. You know.
Yeah, I think I've used up all my lucky dice rolls in this first game of the year. So
I hope so.
I'll be downhill from here.
I've never seen anything like it. Hardly missed a tank. This platoon had a bit of a charmed life. They never got hit, but everything else just got smashed to pieces as soon as they got hit, trained or otherwise, long range or whatever. It was quite extraordinary to see, because the Germans lost 3 little Panzer IIs, 3 Panzer IIIs and a Marder, and to be honest, that was pretty much, apart from these guys ending up with Bell, everything I hit I killed. Yeah. But I just never hit anything.
Yeah, whenever you hit something it killed it. And this guy's only luckily stayed on because of his roll. So I think Grants are good against Panzer IIIs.
Grants will go up against enemy front armour 5.
Yeah.
You know, they can get they're hard to hit. Oh, and incidentally, over here when I was doing killing, it was quite often the 37mm that was doing the killing, not the 75mm. So the Grants are definitely the best tank I'll be using for the Brits. I've not been getting any Churchills. I'm unlikely to get Shermans because you get so few. The Valentines, they've got no punch at all. And to be honest, I've not got months and months and months to sit and paint them all. It's going to take such a long time just to finish painting what we've got for the desert in mid-war. I would imagine you won't see us playing any mid-war Eastern Front games because we've just not got the time to paint the stuff. If we do, and we will get around to it, it's likely to be in the second half of the year, once all these guys are finished, once the infantry, guns and whatever are done for the Brits and a few other options here and there, then we can start thinking about that. But there you go. We'll see what the next game is going to be. It might be we don't have another mid-war game until we get some more stuff painted, because at the moment it's really just tanks for the Brits.
Some infantry on and some guns, yeah.
But I'll be working on that. and we'll get back to mid-war just as soon as we can, so we can have some battle the objectives and such likes. But there you go. What do you think, Brian?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. It was a strange game. We've never played Annihilation before. We've just seen how the tanks perform. Cause I've never played the Germans before. Building my Dark Force up, just see how they perform. I like the Panzer IVs and I like the Marders. Panzer IIIs worry me, but we'll see how
Well, Panzer IIIs are really a sort of good scout option to use up your remaining points with. Or instead of using them, you could upgun some tanks.
Yeah,
but
you're talking about the wee Panzer IIs, yeah. The Panzer
Panzer IIs,
IIs, yeah, they're
sorry,
paper, but the Panzer IIIs, I think, could struggle against a decent list.
I know, but if you go for Panzer IVs by themselves,
It's expensive.
it would be even smaller than this list. You know, I think Panzer IIIs with some good anti-tank to support them. You know, just make sure the Panzer IIIs don't stick their neck out too much, and the decent anti-tank, you know, for backup.
But no, good game. Thank you very much. Brilliant. Thanks for watching.
I wish I could say the same about it being a good game, guys. But thanks for watching.